Can you hear me? I can see myself. Looks like it's working. Little workaround, not having a freaking flippy screen on the damn Sonys. What's up, my fellow YouTube followers? Welcome back, my loyal subscribers. Today, I'm going to show you the Sigma 105mm 1.4. The box is right there. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah. Yeah, bokeh monster. Yeah, boy. So as you can see, I'm trying out not putting my camera on a tripod and trying to see myself what I'm doing. So I'm doing this workaround using the Play Memories app. It's a little laggy. Well, not a little, a lot laggy. But it works for now until I get my Canon EOS R to vlog. We'll see how that works. On a more serious note, I've been wanting to review this lens for a while. I actually have had it for a couple of months, and it's a very sharp lens. There's a ton of videos. You could see all the specifications you can want to see on there. I'm not going to talk about any of that. I'm going to show you real world images because I've used it for a couple of months already. I'm going to show you what I like about it. I'm going to tell you. Freaking messed up. Gotta get a freaking script. I'm going to tell you what I like about this lens and what I don't like about it. I'm going to continue doing these sort of more real world reviews where I'm actually showing images, showing the sharpness. Because before, if you see my really old videos, they're not that old, probably a year ago, I was trying to show you what I see on my screen, and I kind of over that. So I want to show you the product, the end result, and experience. And I feel like I can talk about this lens a little better than others. Not other people, other lenses, because I've had it for a couple of months and I've used it on photo shoots. No weddings though, for some reason, and I will talk about why I haven't used it for weddings. You know, I'm using the 28-75 Tamron right now, and I kind of like. Yeah, I feel like it's wide enough to vlog with. I know some people like to include a whole ton of their background, but you know, let's be realistic. Sometimes the background's just messy. No one wants to see it. Like, I have a mess in my house. I'm not gonna turn the camera around. But this is the lens, and it is really nice. I love this lens. It's produced really good results. All right, so let's talk about what I like and what I don't like about this lens. Oh man, can't even put this back. I'm trying to hold the camera with one hand. I don't know how these vloggers do it while they're riding their freaking skateboards. Let's do this. So welcome back to my computer. So Sigma 105mm 1.4. The so-called bokeh master, hiya. It's just that. The hype is real. This thing delivers very sharp images and very beautiful out of focus bokeh. Now, there are some cons to this lens, and I will talk about them, but I want to show you the real world end results that I have gotten. I'm not going to show you a photo shoot or a wedding because of privacy, and because I like to test lenses when I'm on my own free time. So for that purpose, I usually use them at a zoo, street photography, you name it. So that's why you've been seeing a lot of that in my latest videos. So let's get straight into it. This thing is sharp, and it will make your subject stand out from the background. My volume is too high. I can hear myself. It's kind of ridiculous hearing yourself talk. All right, next picture. This thing loading? The hell? freaking Mac. Oh, probably because I zoomed in. All right, my fault. Okay. For portraiture, this thing is a beast. I didn't even use high-speed sync in this. If I would have, this picture would look 10 times better. This was natural light, yet it looks beast. Again, I'm not going to show you straight out of camera shots because I think those are useless. I'm showing you my fully edited versions that I would present myself. Now, if you don't like my edits, that's another thing. But this is what I'm going to show you. There's no point in me showing you something flat and pointless. All right. So my style of portraiture is environmental. Lots of people out there are using these lenses to completely obliterate the background. I'm going to make a separate video about this called environmental portraits. But let me just touch that issue briefly for me. If you're driving out 30 minutes, even 10 minutes to a beautiful location, say this beach, why would you blow out the whole background? So, what I like to do is, regardless of what focal length I'm using, I like to get the full body, the full subject, because I'm still going to get that separation, as you can see. I'm still going to get that quality, but I'm going to have more context. And I think more context is what makes a picture more artistic. As you can see, I moved back for this one because I wasn't getting enough of the beach. On this shot, I was like, okay, the context is we're on the beach and there's a lot of rocks. You can kind of get the idea, but this one shows you more of the environment. And regardless of being several feet away from her, the compression is excellent and the 1.4 aperture, it's just so sharp at that aperture. Look how much I'm zooming in. Like, no one's going to do that, but you can crop it if you wanted, like, to be honest. But this is the type of result I look for in a lens. Or when I'm using any lens, this is the type of shot I'm looking for. Again, here, I'm using full body. Of course, I could have done a 3/4, but then you wouldn't know where he is. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that. That's a different video. Image quality is excellent. There is just no workaround. There's no point in trying to see if it's sharp or not. This thing is freaking beast. Okay, so the more important thing now. We know it has image quality. We know that the bokeh is nice. What about autofocus? That is important. All right, let me show you my other section. Okay. So here we were testing out a Fuji camera. I ended up returning it, but it was fun to use while I had it. Autofocus is excellent in this camera. This lens was created for you to capture expressions and emotions without having to be in front of someone's face. This is one of my favorite shots. You could, I don't know if you follow me or not on Instagram, but this is one of my most popular posts from 2018. I like to call it yoga pose. So innovative, isn't it? This lens, you'll be able to use eye autofocus. I would say the negative here is that you can't use it at a very far distance. Oh, here I had him pretend there was like a dinosaur. I put him in some bushes in the zoo. And later I added a dinosaur. I don't have that picture on here, but you can imagine it. He been freaked out. He just saw T-Rex, you know? Eye autofocus hangs on, but at a distance, it will lose it. So when I did use it, it was only reliable within certain distance. If you move too far, you lose the subject. However, continuous autofocus, I never missed a shot. I used this lens to take a picture for take pictures for a family, and they were two little girls, probably this kid's size, and I had them running at the park. I put my medium burst rate on my A7 III. I don't like to just spray at the highest frame release. So I think I did like 5 or 6 frames per second. I only missed a couple of shots, and I've missed, it was because they were getting too close to me. But honestly, I tracked those kids, and I did not miss the shot. I got a really good shot. Sorry, guys, freaking stutter there. I've used this lens for family portraiture, and I like to have kids having fun in action. So when I used it, I did the same thing. Medium of 5 to 6 frames per second, and it keeps up. This lens keeps up regardless of how big it looks, or you're thinking all that glass is hard to move. Sigma did a good job with this lens. Now, I want to talk about some cons because it has a lot of pros, but I do want to mention these cons because these are the cons that have stopped me from using this lens at a wedding. It's not the weight, because I would carry a 70 to 200, which weighs about the same. It's more about the bulkiness. This lens does not fit easily in a bag, along with other things, other lenses, other cameras, other flash or whatever you got in your bag. It's a bulky lens. The times I have used it, I literally just carry this lens in the bag, and I'm using another lens on the camera, and when I'm switching, I just move them out. That's literally the only way I found that I would use this lens. At the last wedding I did not take this lens because of that reason. I have a Peak Design bag, and although it fits, it was compromising me being able to carry other things. That if I did add it, regardless, I would be carrying an extra bag, extra things to move around, when I like to be very mobile. So, unfortunately, it's not the weight, because holding it, I was actually surprised that it did not bother me. It's more of the bulkiness of the size of the lens that makes it difficult to bring along with you, say for street photography, or when you're just wanting to take some nice shots somewhere. I recommend this lens if you're going to use it strictly for portraiture, outdoors or indoors, doesn't matter. And if you're just going to stick to that lens, because as you'll see, or some of you may have experienced, carrying a monolight, a 600 watt, or various flashes and other stuff, it's going to get difficult to carry multiple items in a more mobile environment like a wedding or an event. So I recommend this lens only for portrait photographers, indoor, outdoor, where you can take your time. You can bring that extra bag if you have assistant. But if you're going to be mobile, I don't recommend it, because you're going to carry a lot of gear. When those times that you need to carry a lot of stuff, this lens is going to create chaos for your system because it doesn't fit easily. Weight is not so much a problem for me. But other than that, this lens is awesome. And I have enjoyed using it every single time because I feel like that isolation, that emotion you can capture, it makes the weight worth it. It doesn't even matter at that point. To sum this up, I am not keeping this lens. I'm actually going to sell it. Not because it's bad, but because of the usability and what I do. Although I have enjoyed it, and the quality is super good, I have not been disappointed with my results that I deliver to clients. This lens just won't work for me because I focus on weddings, and it really tortures me to have to leave it behind for those reasons. So I'm actually going to opt for testing out the G Master, the 85 1.4, which is the form factor is much smaller. So I'm thinking if the form factor is smaller, I'll be able to use it more. I'll be more willing to bring it with me, because doing weddings, I'm deciding between a 70 to 200 and a 105, and it's kind of hard to make that decision and give up the zoom range that you need at a wedding. However, an 85 I can throw in my bag. At least that's what I'm thinking. Um, so yeah, those are my thoughts on this lens. I love this lens. Unfortunately, I'm gonna get rid of it because I try to keep only what I use. But if you're just an indoor-outdoor portrait photographer or even a studio, this lens is totally worth it. It's a beautiful image you get out of it. And that's about it. I wish I could put my face on this square. I need to figure out how to do that. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm going to be posting another video this week, and it's the one I've been waiting to do. It's wedding photography with only 2 lenses. Only 2! Not 3! So stick around. I'm going to show you what I did and what I used. Thank you for watching.